So, I guess we're starting a podcast?
Yeah, we're starting a podcast, so let's introduce ourselves.
I am Ben.
And I am Steve.
And we are a father and son podcasting team.
I'm the father, he's the son, in case you were wondering.
And together, we are
the Fact Trekkers. And you are too, our listening friends, because we're taking you along for the ride.
That's right. In each episode, we are going to, share some fun and fascinating facts.
In some parts, we'll be going deep, sharing lots of cool facts on specific topics.
Going deep? As deep as the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench, it's 35,876 feet deep. That deep?
Yeah, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. We're also going to share...
Oh, iceberg. You mean like the largest iceberg on record, which had a surface area larger than 12,000 square miles?
Which is larger than the country of Belgium. Those are cool facts and all, but we should save some for the Fact Off.
The Fact Off? That's the segment where we share a few of our favorite random facts.
That's a fact. And in fact, it's time for... the Fact Off. And here we are in the Fact Off.
In this part of our podcast, my dad and I are going to hit you with a few of our very favorite facts.
No connections here, just fun stuff to share with your friends.
And we haven't even shared all of these with each other, so we'll learn something new too.
Do you want me to start? Actually, no. Why don't you kick things off?
Thanks. Here we go. Peaches and almonds are members of the same family.
What? Cool. Okay. Here's one. A blue whale's tongue can weigh as much as an elephant.
Ooh, that's heavy. I'll lighten things up. Did you know that white light is actually made up of every color in the visible light spectrum?
Ah, you're a bright kid. Here's one. 2/3 of the world's eggplants are grown in the state of New Jersey.
Really? That's crazy. But on a different note, a single beaver cuts down an average of 300 trees per year.
Ooh, here's another numbers fact. Fewer years separate us from the time of Cleopatra than separate her from the time of the first pharaohs of Egypt.
And that's the Fact
Off.
Wow, that was fun, but I'm almost out of breath.
Fun and informative. I definitely learned some new things.
And hey, if you learned something too,
and if you're having fun,
then maybe tell your friends about Fact Trekkers. We are super new, but we are hoping to bring lots of people on our fact-finding journeys.
And now, our journey will take us to the main event.
And here we are in the main event.
For the next few minutes, we're going to go a lot deeper.
Like we said, remember the Mariana Trench thing? No more random facts here. In the main event, every fact will be connected. You can start off this time.
Thanks. For the first fact, I'm going to tell you a tall tale. It's a tale 29,032 feet high. That's the current height of Mount Everest, the tallest mountain in the world. But here's something cool about Mount Everest. It's still growing taller.
That's right. In fact, Mount Everest grows by 4 millimeters every year.
That might not sound like much, but over time, it may grow thousands more feet.
Here's another fact about this marvelous mountain. In the native Tibetan language, Mount Everest is known as Chomolungma, meaning Goddess Mother of the World. Talk about majestic.
Good one. Not only is Mount Everest super tall, it's also simply massive. It lies on the border between Nepal and the Tibetan region of China, and it covers more than 570 square miles.
Here's another. The first people known to have reached the summit of Mount Everest were Tenzing Norgay and Edmund Hillary, a feat accomplished at 11:30 on May 29, 1953.
Or so we think they were the first.
Oh, right. There was a chance that George Mallory and Andrew Irvine reached the summit on June 8th or 9th of 1924.
In all fairness, it's unlikely they made it to the summit. We're not sure. We are sure that both men died trying. And regardless, their mountaineering prowess is still impressive 100 years on.
George Mallory's body was discovered on the mountain on the May 1st of 1999. But did they make it to the top? Well, when they set off, they brought a camera, promising to take a picture if they summited the massive mountain. As for whether or not they made it to the top, this mystery might someday be solved, if their long-lost camera is found. If it has an image of the summit, that would mean they made it to the top and made history.
Wow, that is a crazy story. But now that climbing hardware is more advanced, many more people have reached the top. In fact, in 2018, a record-smashing 800 people stood on top of the world.
This has been fun and all, but do you think we should give Mount Everest a rest?
Yeah, I think it's time for a rest.
Wait, but we can't go to sleep right now. We're in the middle of a show.
We can't go to sleep, but we can talk about it.
So we hope you're well rested, because here come some sleep facts that are so interesting they might keep you up at night.
All right, let's start with some numbers. The average person will sleep for 227,760 hours in their lifetime.
That's 9,490 days.
Which equates to approximately 26 years.
And you spend half an hour to 2 hours dreaming each night.
So you may well spend more than 6 years of your life dreaming.
But good luck remembering it all. As you may know, it is very hard to remember most dreams. Specifically, the average person recalls 45% of their dreams upon waking, though many quickly fade.
And unfortunately, science has found that as you get older, the less you remember your dreams.
Here's a wild one. The breakthrough design element for the modern-day sewing machine came to inventor Elias Howe in a dream.
And apparently it was a pretty wild dream. It involved cannibals. But this is a kid-friendly podcast, so we'll leave you to do your own further research on that one.
Here's an inspirational dream fact. The authors of many famous books have come up with their ideas while dreaming. A classic example is Mary Shelley's Frankenstein.
Very cool and very creepy. Great book. You should all read it when you're old enough.
On a brighter note, contrary to popular belief, 80 to 90% of people do in fact dream in color. Experts believe this percentage has increased markedly since the advent of color television and film.
This has been utterly enough human sleep facts. Let's move to animal sleep facts, starting with otters.
Oh right, otters hold hands while sleeping to keep them from drifting away. How adorable.
Speaking of sea creatures, dolphins have some pretty amazing sleep habits as well. Mainly, how about the fact that they never truly sleep?
Oh right, because unlike humans, dolphins can't breathe involuntarily.
Wait, what? So how do they get the rest?
Well, in a way, their brains never fully do. Dolphins practice unihemispheric sleep, which is basically a fancy way of saying only putting part of their brain to sleep.
Oh, so one part stays awake to focus on breathing and other life-sustaining actions.
Yes, our brains are perfectly adapted to not have to think about staying alive.
Ah, that's how we dream. Since our conscious brain does not have to focus on keeping us alive, it has nothing to do while sleeping. That's why it sometimes likes to wander.
Have you ever dreamed about a giraffe?
No, I have not.
Well, they probably haven't dreamed about you either. They simply don't have time. You might think that they would need a lot of sleep to keep that head squarely on top of that long neck, but the average giraffe gets only 2 hours of sleep per day.
2 hours? What does giraffe morning look like?
Probably leaves for breakfast.
Leaves for breakfast? Ugh. I prefer pancakes and an omelet.
Me too, specifically a bacon and spinach omelet, but other people might not agree.
That's right. Breakfast is really different around the world. So let's dig into this feast of facts.
For example, a popular Cambodian breakfast is kwai tiv, a rice noodle soup made with pork or beef broth, shallots, garlic, and herbs. It's served with pork or fish balls, chili paste, soy sauce, and lime.
That actually sounds amazing. Here's another. The most popular breakfast in Costa Rica is gallo pinto. It's made with the family's leftover rice in a delicious fried dish, along with black beans, red peppers, and onions, and it's topped with salsa and sour cream, served with eggs, avocado, cheese, sausages, or tortillas.
Yum! Here's one from Denmark. Breakfast amongst the Danish, as with most Nordic countries, is light, fresh, and simple. It is usually an open-faced sandwich covered with various spreads, sometimes accompanied by pastry. The base is usually rye bread, which is covered with everything from cheeses, cold cuts, pâté, honey, jam, vegetables, hard-boiled eggs, and even chocolate. Other popular breakfast dishes amongst the Danes are cereals and porridge. Danish breakfasts are always paired with a cup of hot coffee or tea.
All right, that's a lot of cool international facts, but let's get back to our home turf for a bit. In America, we eat approximately 10 billion donuts each year, and we drink approximately 400 million cups of coffee each day, which adds up to 146 billion cups annually. And to top it off, the average American eats approximately 275 eggs each year.
Wow, that's a lot of breakfast. And considering it is often referred to as the most important meal of the day, it's hard to imagine life without it. But for a while, it simply didn't exist. FYI, he just did the mind-blown hand motion, just telling you because this is a podcast.
But I thought breakfast was the most important meal of the day.
These days, yes it is. But breakfast as a distinct meal was only popularized in the mid-1800s. Before then, there was often just one big meal, towards the end of the day.
That's terrible. I love breakfast. All right, thinking about a world without breakfast freaks me out.
Well, then maybe it's time to try to fake you out instead.
Oh, do you mean we're moving on?
Yeah, we're moving on. It's time for...
2 facts and a fake. This is the segment where you, our listeners, have to put on your detective hats.
That's right. Usually, we're trying to fill your head with true and truly fascinating facts. But right now, not so much.
Correct. Or only 2/3 correct, because 2 of these, air quote, facts are indeed true.
But watch out, because one of them is total fiction.
So, without further ado, here are your 3 facts.
And a fake. By the way, in this segment, my sister Scarlett is going to help out a little bit.
Hi, I'm Ben's sister Scarlett.
Number 1.
Bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't.
Number 2.
The ancient Mayans created the first lemonade.
Number 3.
My sister will do this one.
Octopi have 9 brains.
We'll reveal the answers in a minute.
So stick around.
Okay, well that was a lot of fun.
And we learned a lot too.
We learned about everything from eggplants to the world's tallest mountain to a delicious breakfast soup, Hey, Ben, did you have a favorite fact?
So hard to choose, but my favorite was the lost camera on Mount Everest.
It would be amazing if they found that.
Unfortunately, I think it's about time we wrap up.
Yeah, I think so, but not before the big reveal.
Let's see which fact is a fake.
First up,
Bananas are berries, but strawberries aren't.
next up,
Octopi have 9 brains.
and last,
Lemonade was invented by the ancient Mayans.
no, in fact, the first known lemonade was from 12th century Egypt.
Did we get you?
I'm sure we got somebody.
Well, I think it's time to wrap up for real.
Thanks for listening. Please spread the word about us.
And now, today's trek has come to an end.
That's a fact.